Good afternoon and welcome again to another segment of the Story Behind the Songs. And this week, I'm Pastor Debbie Upton of Center and Swatch United Methodist Churches. This week, we're going to be looking at one of our songs for this Sunday, which is Sing We Now of Christmas. It is hymn 237 in our United Methodist hymnal. Again, this information comes from the United Methodist Discipleship website and was written and placed on the website by Dr. Michael Hahn, who is the professor of church music at Perkins School of Theology. Sing we now of Christmas, Noel sing we here. Hear our grateful praises to the babes so dear. Sing we Noel, the King is born, Noel. Sing we now of Christmas, sing we now Noel. The French people, and this is a French carol, the French people love to sing at Christmas. Chants de Noël, which are Christmas carols from France, may be found in most English hymnals. You have sung the playful tune, He is Born, which is 228 in our hymn book, and the delightful inclusion of the oboe and the bagpipes. There is also the waiting of the prophets and inviting the singers to join in the lively shepherd folk band at the major. We have Angels We Have Heard on High, hymn 238, that contains a few Latin phrases, but technically is a carol in both vernacular and Latin. We all love that glory, that Gloria. We all love that. That reminds us that it is Christmas. Then we can remember Bring a Torch, Jeanette Isabella. And then Sing We Now of Christmas is one of a popular French tradition. And then, of course, we all know O Holy Night is another favorite. So, Sing We Now of Christmas is a perfect song to accompany the French tradition of the crèche, the manger where Jesus was laid. Handmade nativity scenes are not only common in homes, but also in town squares. I love nativity scenes. Little clay figures traditionally made in the south of France are called setons, little saints. Fine craftsmanship characterizes the production of these figures, and they are a source of pride for the communities that produce them. It is interesting that crèche is also a French term for nursery or young children during the day. Christmas trees, though not absent from France, are more German tradition, as the traditional folk song O Tannenbaum, O Christmas Tree, attest. The crèche, on the other hand, is the more common focal point for the season in France. This tradition is particularly strong in the province in the south of France. The crèche that includes the Holy Family, the Magi, the shepherds, and the animals, along with additional local figures such as the mayor, the little drummer boy, or a peasant dressed in attire. In some village, people dress as shepherds and join the procession to the church. Children often contribute to the domestic crèches by bringing small stones, moss, and evergreens to complete the scene. And then everyone sings carols. Perhaps this tradition explains the focus of the many chants of Noel. They are often sung around the creches in the homes or in a procession to the church dressed as shepherds. Rather than viewing the scene, it seems that the singer actually joins the biblical characters as part of the scene. Rather than focus on the Christmas tree with a manger scene placed in some adjacent location, the focus is on the crèche itself and those persons that make up the nativity ensemble. This idea is an outgrowth of the French Renaissance, when humanity assumed an important role in the cosmic events. Because of that, today I will be playing it with harpsichord and strings. Congregational songs were not sung in the Catholic liturgy at the time. These were songs of the people, and even so, they didn't lack theology or symbolic sophistication. Christ Comes Anew is a tune that dates to the 15th century. The original French text, perhaps patterned on the 12 days of Christmas, includes stanzas not translated in English. These stanzas result in a basic nativity narrative. One early stanza actually discusses the actual composition of the song. In Bethlehem, the Lamb you'll see. Noel, Noel, Noel we sing. Some English traditions preserve the reference to the Lamb, usually in the diminutive form, and later obscures the reference to the infant Jesus as the incarnate Lamb of God, rather than a literal lamb in the field. As it is usually the case, singing translations lose much of its original imagery. What appears to be a simple retelling of the Christmas narrative finds its roots in the culture and domestic pageantry of its day. The birth of Christ represents a spiritual awakening, a deeper connection between God and humanity. May Christmas spring anew in your life. And during this time of the pandemic and darkness, what a wonderful, wonderful carol to sing. We're actually going to sing all the verses because of the shortness and liveliness of it. And I hope it does spring anew in you. Sing we now of Christmas, silver sing we hear. Hear our grateful praises to the babe so dear. Sing we Noel, the King is born Noel. Sing we now of Christmas, sing o now Noel. Angels call to shepherds, leave your flocks at rest. Journey forth to Bethlehem, find the child so blessed. Sing we Noel, the King is born Noel. Sing we now of Christmas, sing we now Noel. In Bethlehem they found him, Joseph, Mary mild, seated by the manger, watching the holy child. Sing we Noel, the King is born Noel. Sing we now of Christmas, sing we now Noel. From the eastern country came the kings afar, bearing gifts to Bethlehem, guided by the star. Sing we Noel, the King is born Noel. Sing we now of Christmas, sing we now Noel. Vow and word they took their gifts of greatest price. There was never stayer like so paradise. Sing we Noel, the King is born Noel. Sing we now of Christmas, sing we now Noel. I hope you are singing. And as we come to our week of Christmas, I ask you to join me in the joy and the celebration of Christ's birth. You may join us online or on Facebook, on Zoom, or at our website, or in person at Center at 10:30 a.m. on Sunday morning, or on Zoom and Facebook at 8:30 a.m. as well. And then Monday, I invite you to a very special Blue Christmas service. It's the longest night, and many of us are struggling with all that we have going on in our lives, and we need a little bit of encouragement. So I invite you to join me on Monday evening at 6:30. It will be here in the church as well, in person, as well as online and through Zoom. As we remember those that we love, that we've lost, and as we grieve the things that we took for granted that are not there anymore and have changed. Christ offers us hope. He gives us faith, and he gives us joy. So sing now of Christmas and enjoy the rest of this week. God bless.